Connecting the rudder system on a back of a kayak, you'll see that there are certain models that have back-mounted rudders, and there are certain kayaks with integrated rudders that are underneath the kayak. For the back-mounted rudders, you will see that when you receive the kayak, the rudder will be loose. You'll just simply need to take the rudder out and feed it through the back loop, and often there will be a linch pin which will then fasten the rudder to the kayak. Once the rudder is in, you will see at the back of the kayak there are 4 different cords. There are 2 inner cords and 2 outer cords. The 2 outer cords are for the handle steering, so the handle will move when you move the cords. The 2 inner cords are for the foot rudder system, so it'll move the foot rudder. Depending on which setting you would like to set, those are the cords you're going to fasten to the rudder system. So for the purpose of this video, I will be connecting the hand steering. First thing I will do is I will take the foot steering cords and I will actually tie a knot so that they do not pull into the kayak. You do not want the cords to pull into the kayak because otherwise you will need to get them out again, which is an issue. So now that I've gotten these cords out the way, I will now start working on the hand steering. For the hand steering, what I'll often do is I will first tie one side, so I will find where the sweet spot is on the handle, where it's sort of centered. I will then feed through the cord. You'll see on the rudder itself, it has a gap, a little hole that you can feed the cord through. I will pull the cord through. I'll often do this on both sides just to start, just so that I can work with the tension to see where the handle needs to sit. So while working on the right cord, you want the rudder handle to be facing slightly up, just because then you're starting on it being quite tight. You'll then feed it into the small groove that's there, and then what I'll do is I'll actually feed it under here while keeping it tight as I can. Feed it under again, creating another loop. This loop I'll then tighten as hard as I can, and I'll do that exact same thing again with another loop, and now it is fastened. Moving on to the second side, you'll see now that the rudder cord obviously is facing slightly up. I'll then move on to the second cord, which I will then tighten as hard as I can while using my stomach to just keep the rudder centered. I will then feed it as tight as I can around into that groove again, and do the exact same process as what I did on the other side with the cord to make sure it is nice and tight. And then the second time we do a loop and through the loop, and the third time we'll do the exact same thing through a loop again. And now the rudder should be fastened. So you'll see when I tune the rudder, both cords are tight, and now I will go and turn the handle, which will then show the rudder moving. If you find that there's quite a bit of excess rope, you're more than welcome to cut it. I prefer not to, just because I do like working with more cord and having more cord to work with. So if you want to just neaten it up or whatever, you're more than welcome to just tie a few knots to make sure that it's nice and tight onto the rudder system and that you don't see the cords standing up. So then it'll be tight and flush against the rudder and not be sticking out.